CDs, money markets. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's investing. That's where we make money, right? And is it, people say, oh, can you get 10%? The answer is, yeah, you can get 10%. Okay. You just have to look for it. Okay. And, and again, it's risky, right? And by risky, I mean you can lose your money. So you put money into it that you don't worry about, right? That you don't care, that you're going to blow anyway. All right. And so
it's planting seeds, Gary. You're planting seeds.
I hope we're planting some seeds here, right?
Yeah.
But that's like, mutual funds is a topic in itself. That again, it's not all that complicated. Okay. But if you don't know about it, then it looks really complicated, right? Okay.
Well, doing a good job breaking it down. Greatly appreciate it. We'll have to continue.
I hope so.
Yeah. Gary, good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Luke.
Thanks.
Have a good day, everybody.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Levin. Puppy Levin is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
U.S. President Donald Trump held a campaign-style rally in Michigan on Tuesday to celebrate his first 100 days in office. In his speech frequently targeting Democrats and touting what he said were a series of economic victories.
This is the best, they say, 100-day start of any president in history, and everyone is saying it. We've just gotten started. You haven't even seen anything yet. It's all just kicking in.
Despite recent polling showing dwindling confidence in Trump's economic vision, Trump cast his steep tariffs on China and other trading partners as a lifeline for places like Michigan and said they could lead to a resurgence in domestic manufacturing.
They all want to come back to Michigan and build cars again. You know why? Because of our tax and tariff policy. You finally have a champion for workers in the White House, and instead of putting China first, I'm putting Michigan first, and I'm putting America first.
At one point, Trump paused to show supporters video of alleged gang members deported by his administration being put in prison to cheers from the crowd. He also forcefully attacked Democrats, repeatedly mocked his predecessor Joe Biden, and renewed his criticisms of Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell.
Interest rates came down despite the fact that I have a Fed person who's not really doing a good job, but I won't say that. I want to be very nice. I want to be very nice and respectful to the Fed. You're not supposed to criticize the Fed. You're supposed to let him do his own thing. But I know much more than he does about interest rates, believe me.
Polls show Americans have cooled on aspects of Trump's performance in recent weeks. In a 3-day Reuters Ipsos poll completed on Sunday, 42% of respondents approved of Trump's performance so far, while 53% disapproved. That's down from 47% approval in the Reuters Ipsos poll in January. Just 36% of respondents approved of Trump's economic stewardship, the lowest level in his current or prior term.
China, 67.
Our latest Reuters Ipsos poll finds that 42% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's performance as president so far this term, compared with 53% who disapprove. That's a finding that's steady with the prior week. But overall, when you dig into the numbers, we are seeing some areas of decline. One notable one is on the economy. Just 36% of respondents approve of Trump's handling of the economy, compared with 56% who disapprove. That's important because the economy was a key element in the 2024 presidential campaign. And when you get to the specific issue of cost of goods at a time of concerns about inflation, just 32% of respondents approve of his handling of the cost of goods, compared with 59% that disapprove. Trump's other major campaign issue was immigration, which has been his best polling area. He still gets more approval there than on other topics. But we are seeing here he's also what we call net negative, meaning that more people disapprove of his performance than approve of it. The poll found that 45% of Americans approve of Trump's handling of immigration, while 48% disapprove of it. We're now at the 100-day mark of his presidency. That's often a time that's regarded as a honeymoon for a president. And the polling is showing that really across the board on the issues, Americans are not really reacting all that warmly to Trump's job performance so far. That said, we should point out that at 42%, his approval is right about where it was at this point in 2017 during his first term in office, and is above where Biden's was for much of his final years in office.
U.S. stocks closed higher on Tuesday, with the Dow gaining 0.75% and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ each adding more than 0.5%. Data out from the Commerce Department's Census Bureau showed that the U.S. trade deficit in goods widened to a record high in March as businesses attempted to bring in merchandise ahead of President Trump's tariffs. A separate report from the Conference Board showed its Consumer Confidence Index dropped to its lowest reading since May of 2020. And a survey from the Labor Department showed job openings dropped sharply in March, though a decline in layoffs suggested that the labor market remained on solid footing. George Cipollone, portfolio manager at Penn Mutual Asset Management, parsed Tuesday's slew of data.
So I think what we saw today economically, from an economic standpoint, the JOLTS number was a little bit weaker than expected, and consumer confidence was a little weaker than expected. Why that is good is the reason primarily why you see the market up right now and why you see bond yields back down. It's showing some softness in the economy, which it feels like the administration wants, because they want to get to a place where the Fed can start cutting rates.
Trump signed an order just before Tuesday's closing bell to soften the blow of his auto tariffs with a mix of credits and relief from other levies on materials. Shares of General Motors recovered some earlier losses near the end of the session, but still ended lower after the automaker reported strong quarterly results but rescinded its annual forecast. Shares of Honeywell jumped about 5.5% after reporting a rise in adjusted profit for the first quarter. And paint maker Sherwin-Williams rallied more than 4.5% after its quarterly profit beat estimates. More economic data is still on tap this week, culminating in Friday's key government payrolls report, along with earnings from several of the Magnificent Seven group of mega-cap companies such as Apple and Microsoft.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Mostly sunny today with temperatures in the low 60s. Partly to mostly cloudy skies this evening with lows in the mid-40s. Thursday, the 1st of May, afternoon thunderstorms, low 70s for a high. Friday, showers, mid-60s. Saturday, rain showers, mid-50s. Sunday, some afternoon rain showers with the high in the upper 50s. Meadville this morning at 39 degrees. Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 38. Titusville 37. Franklin this morning 40. Oil City 40 degrees here at 7:15. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
It's a lovely morning. I'm feeling blessed. The sun is warming. The birds are making nest.
There's our live shot out the studio window. Here's a live shot of Pittsburgh this morning. And welcome in. Strong storms rolling through northwest Pennsylvania yesterday. Some parts saw a little tiny bit. Others saw a lot more. I think especially down towards Pittsburgh. I saw like a pizza shop lost its roof. And,
oh, my.
Yeah, but if you got any part of it yesterday, even for like 5 minutes.
Which is what we got.
Yeah, it was a little more than that, but it was bad. I mean, that wind was
terrible.
Strong. Got some rain and luckily in and out, but other places it was a lot stronger. So hopefully everybody's safe this morning. And could have been worse. I was thinking about that yesterday as it was rolling out. I'm like, boy, that could have been something if that would have sustained.
Yeah.
Like they were initially talking, but all right. Wednesday. I am so off this week. It is Wednesday.
I mean,
getting you closer to the weekend.
There you go.
I think this is the day where you start having those conversations, right?
What of what we're doing this weekend?
Yeah, of like what's coming up this weekend.
Oh, I don't even know. I work.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. I think it's Wednesday. By Wednesday, you're like, oh yeah, hey, the weekend's coming up. What's going on? You know, the foundations are laid for the weekend on Wednesday. I feel.
Most of the time.
And then, of course, Thursday and Friday, they can change.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole different thing. But because I think you get to Friday and it's like,
Meh.
let's see. Because I think, you go, I was saying yesterday, like Monday just felt like we had put the entire work week into the one day.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing negative by that. We had a lot of really great projects we were working on. We were just running around on Monday, and we did softball. And so by the time you got home, it just felt like, okay, I could sleep for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So like now you think, boy, get to Friday, just get home, relax. But then something pops up.
Mm-hmm.
And
always.
Yeah, but it can be fun. You never know. So we're going to do birthdays and what we're celebrating here in just a little bit. We got a lineup today.
You do. You're busy.
Christa Lundy from the Meadville Chamber. Susan Williams from the Venango Chamber. Heather Schmader from ERA-Richmond Real Estate.
Woo.
Yeah. It's great. Love it. Chambers are doing great things.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of fun. Oh, so Christa's coming off the Diamond Awards last week, which you can catch on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel if you weren't there in attendance or you want to rewatch. You'll be able to do that. It's also on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel YouTube channel. So you can catch up on that. But we'll hear from Christa, get a recap of everything. Susan's got a lot going on with the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. I saw somebody had posted something already asking about, this was online, about, summer festivals and stuff. So as they plan their Oil Heritage Festival in Oil City, they're also planning their Cranberry Festival, which is in September.
Yeah.
So
it's like back to back.
Yeah. I think you've got some schools with proms coming up this weekend. So kind of keeping an eye on that forecast, because for those having it on a Friday, it's looking like showers in mid-60s. I want to say there was showers last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or the potential?
I think at some time, I feel like there were at some point.
We've joked the last couple of years it'd be kind of fun to do a live red carpet type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
It would be fitting for us to start at when our two oldest are now out of school.
Yeah.
And through the prom.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it hits us now, days before, instead of, a month or two out saying, hey, maybe we should plan for that.
Maybe.
And I don't know if the rain, the potential for rain will change how they enter, where they enter.
Yeah, I think there was a year because of the rain they entered. It was like you had to be in the auditorium.
That was COVID.
Oh, that was. I thought that was there's a rain thing for that too.
Oh, maybe you're right.
I think that's what they do for rain, though.
Okay, I think you're correct, and I think some people didn't want to go in there.
Yeah.
Because they still weren't comfortable.
Correct.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because there was a prom.
And it was.
Yeah, and the ban was lifted.
Okay. All right. Sorry. A lot of that stuff's... I'll tell you, when they were going through the 5-year anniversary stuff, man, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Oh, that was pretty intense. I can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
All right. On this 30th day of April, this is it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, April.
Bye-bye, April.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's May Day. Is that what it's called? May Day?
Is this where we're going to see all the Justin Timberlake memes?
I bet you, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen some.
Already? Just preparing you for this day? Some people want to get a jump on.
Some people want to be the first ones to.
Is it because in a song he says something like...
I don't even know. Do that again. Do it again.
No.
So funny.
So
Come on.
It's dumb. No, that's what it's from,
I think
right?
it's because the way he says me sounds like May or something.
May. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what song it is.
When's the 4th? What day is that?
Sunday. May the 4th be with you.
Okay. I know that's coming up. Cinco de Mayo.
Monday.
Mother's Day, which is a week from Sunday. Ooh, really? Okay. Memorial Day. Like the unofficial.
No, we've got Cinco de Mayo. We have a birthday, then Mother's Day,
I'm
and
saying
a
other
birthday.
people. I'm saying
yeah.
those aren't major holidays for our kids.
Listen.
I'm saying for.
This is why I'm the favorite.
Yeah. So.
Yes, we have Mother's Day, then we have Memorial Day.
Okay, that is the
a federal
unofficial
holiday.
The unofficial kickoff to summer
Mm-hmm.
is Memorial Day weekend, right? So, really looking forward to that. And man, then we're into June and July and August. I'm not going to
school.
I'm not going to say
We haven't
that
even got out of school. Let's talk about back to school.
Well, that happens.
Hey, so I'm not going to go there. I was going to go there, but I'm not going to go there.
What?
Well, so like all these people are posting about like tariffs being added to their Shein order, which one time in my life I've ordered Shein. I ordered a shirt and it is the worst shirt I've ever had in my life. So I will truly, truly never order from there again. But I just went there and I'm like, I just want to see. So I put a t-shirt in and it says right there, all tariffs are included in the price of the product. And you get to the bottom to check out, and there's nothing. I mean, it was $9.99. So I don't know if it's the product that, I put in my cart or what.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, again, worst product I've ever ordered in my life.
Well, listen, for those who are saying or just talking tariffs, it's not just about tariffs. It's about protecting American products. It's about protecting the IP of companies because, American companies send things over to China for them to make, and then what? They knock it off, and then they sell it cheaper.
Yep.
Okay. Is that fair?
No, not at all.
No.
And then we're buying the cheap version, and what a waste of my money.
I'm just saying, there's more to it than this. It's not just tariffs. There's reasons behind all of that. And again, you can still disagree, and maybe he's taken too strong approach. You can have that argument. That's fine. We can talk about that all day. But it's not just about tariffs. There's more to it than that. So we're okay. Let's get into birthdays and what we're celebrating here. Oh, I was just going to say, you get to the end of the school year, and I know everybody's thoughts are on summer, but kids are coming home with stuff for next year, things that need filled out. And a lot of the stuff gets pushed to the side because you're like, it's summer, right? But be checking the kids' book bags and stuff because there's papers coming home
also,
now and the end of the school year.
Parents of college students and pending college students, FAFSA is due at the end of June. Please, Lord.
Is it gotten easier? Because there was like 2 years ago where it was like...
Oh my gosh, it was like doing our taxes. It was dreadful. Yes and no. I mean, I know what I need and I know what I'm doing, but it's still really annoying. Okay. It's like just one extra thing I don't want to have to do.
I have this is unofficial.
Unofficial.
Countdown. High school football, first high school football game is 121 days away. So, for those who are like, why would you be working on this stuff now? Because it's fast approaching.
And it's for you. It's it's the beginning of a whole huge season. It's like, I won't see you for
we got some big plans for this year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
But we'll see. All right. Birthdays, 30th day, last day of April. Who's celebrating today?
All right. Actor Jared. Oh my gosh. Johnny Galecki is 50.
You were going to say
Jared
Padalecki.
I was. Where's my brain? Actress.
No, Johnny has been in a lot of things like
Big Bang Theory, Roseanne,
Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm. Actress Kirsten Dunst is 43. Actress Diane Agron is 39. Actress Anna de Armas is 37. And rapper Travis Scott is 34.
All right. Happy birthday to them. And happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from everyone here this morning. Let's turn the page. We're going to find out what we're celebrating today.
All right. It is Day of the Child.
Finally, my day.
Amen. Denim Day, Hairstyle Appreciation Day, Healthy Kids Day, Honesty Day, International Guide Dog Day, International Jazz Day, Military Brats Day, Mr. Potato Head Day, National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day, National Animal Advocacy Day, National Bubble Tea Day, National Bugs Bunny Day, National Larry Day, National Oatmeal Cookie Day, National Prepare-a-thon Day, National Raisin Day, National Tabby Day, National Therapy Animal Day, National Tie-Dye Day, Queen's Day, Walpurgis Night, World Stationery Day, and that's it.
Okay. All I think about with Larry Day is Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers running around yelling, Larry! Be a good day to do that today.
It would.
All right.
It would.
I know
Today
some Larrys.
is the day. So do I.
Some good Larrys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's their day.
That's great. Well, we're coming up on 7:30 here this morning. We will bring you the latest headlines, let you know what's going on in sports, on Wall Street. Weather-wise, we are looking at mostly sunny skies today with temperatures in the low 60s, partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight with lows in the mid-40s. We got some great guests lined up today. Christa Lundy from the Meadville Chamber, coming off of the Diamond Awards. Wow, what a great night. And again, if you weren't there in person or you want to see it again, Armstrong was there, and they're running that on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel and on their YouTube channel. We've got Susan Williams this morning, President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce, and Heather Schmader from ERA-Richmond Real Estate. I love talking real estate, just like financial stuff.
I know.
We had Gary Glenn on with some great financial advice, but I just love finding out who's buying property, where they're coming from, why they're coming here. It's all good stuff. So looking forward to our conversation with all our guests, and I guess probably for the first time we'll welcome Heather Schmader onto the program. So from ERA-Richmond Real Estate. All right, 7:30. Your headlines are next.
I have to run. Luke and Amy set my day with what they have to say. My weekday mornings are such a thrill when I wake up with the morning drill. Waking up with the morning drill.
Our latest Reuters Ipsos poll finds that 42% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's performance as president so far this term, compared with 53% who disapprove. That's a finding that's steady with the prior week. But overall, when you dig into the numbers, we are seeing some areas of decline. One notable one is on the economy. Just 36% of respondents approve of Trump's handling of the economy, compared with 56% who disapprove. That's important because the economy was a key element in the 2024 presidential campaign. And when you get to the specific issue of cost of goods at a time of concerns about inflation, just 32% of respondents approve of his handling of the cost of goods, compared with 59% that disapprove. Trump's other major campaign issue was immigration, which has been his best polling area. He still gets more approval there than on other topics. But we are seeing here he's also what we call net negative, meaning that more people disapprove of his performance than approve of it. The poll found that 45% of Americans approve of Trump's handling of immigration, while 48% disapprove of it. We're now at the 100-day mark of his presidency. That's often a time that's regarded as a honeymoon for a president. And the polling is showing that really across the board on the issues, Americans are not really reacting all that warmly to Trump's job performance so far. That said, we should point out that at 42%, his approval is right about where it was at this point in 2017 during his first term in office, and is above where Biden's was for much of his final years in office.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Winter rages on in northwest Pennsylvania, and luckily Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning is only a phone call away when your heating emergency strikes. Whether it's residential or light commercial, new construction, repair, or replacement, Vanderhoof has the experience to get the job done right. Call today to set up an appointment or visit the Vanderhoof website to learn more. At Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning, we look forward to fulfilling all of your HVAC needs and projects now and into the future. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Welcome to Inspire Med Spa, the place you know and love for massages, Botox, laser resurfacing, and semi-permanent makeup. Now we're offering even more, including laser hair removal, tattoo removal, and hair rejuvenation. Our team is here to provide expert care in a peaceful, luxurious environment designed with your relaxation in mind. And with our newly added services, now you can get all your beauty services in one place. Visit Inspire Med Spa today, because you deserve to look and feel your best.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place. And now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old, so it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
It's Chevy Truck Month at Community Chevrolet, your Silverado headquarters. So we're getting out the Price Slicer.
Please handle with caution.
This truck month, save more than $9,000 off the new Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew. More than $4,000 off the Silverado 1500 Crew Cab Custom. And more than $2,500 off the 2500.
With 3.9% financing for 5 human years.
The Price Slicer's out all truck month, only at Community Chevrolet.
U.S. stocks closed higher on Tuesday, with the Dow gaining 0.75% and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ each adding more than 0.5%. Data out from the Commerce Department's Census Bureau showed that the U.S. trade deficit in goods widened to a record high in March as businesses attempted to bring in merchandise ahead of President Trump's tariffs. A separate report from the Conference Board showed its Consumer Confidence Index dropped to its lowest reading since May of 2020. And a survey from the Labor Department showed job openings dropped sharply in March, though a decline in layoffs suggested that the labor market remained on solid footing. George Cipollone, portfolio manager at Penn Mutual Asset Management, parsed Tuesday's slew of data.
So I think what we saw today economically, from an economic standpoint, the JOLTS number was a little bit weaker than expected, and consumer confidence was a little weaker than expected. Why that is good is the reason primarily why you see the market up right now, and why you see bond yields back down. It's showing some softness in the economy, which it feels like the administration wants, because they want to get to a place where the Fed can start cutting rates.
Trump signed an order just before Tuesday's closing bell to soften the blow of his auto tariffs with a mix of credits and relief from other levies on materials. Shares of General Motors recovered some earlier losses near the end of the session, but still ended lower after the automaker reported strong quarterly results but rescinded its annual forecast. Shares of Honeywell jumped about 5.5% after reporting a rise in adjusted profit for the first quarter. And paintmaker Sherwin-Williams rallied more than 4.5% after its quarterly profit beat estimates. More economic data is still on tap this week, culminating in Friday's key government payrolls report, along with earnings from several of the Magnificent Seven group of mega-cap companies such as Apple and Microsoft.
Well, joining us this morning is the Executive Director of the Meadville Area Chamber of Commerce. It's Christa Lundy. Hi, Christa. How are you?
Good morning. What a beautiful day out there.
Yeah. It's
after a little storm last night, but beautiful today.
That's all right. That's all right. And you're coming off a really, really, really big, fun event. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to all the winners. And you know me, congratulations to all the nominees. I mean, they were all in such deserving company, but I have the winners for you, Luke. So very exciting. Last Wednesday, we were at the Hotel Conneaut for our annual Diamond Awards. We had about 260 people there. Beautiful. It was so nice. The weather was perfect, so everyone was out on the deck or on the patio beforehand for the cocktail hour. And then we had a delicious meal from Julian's. Desserts were on every table from the strudel factory. No one knew the winners but myself, so it was very rewarding to see all the reactions of all of the people winning the awards. Some really great toasts happen, and thank yous. There's Mandy Mahoney from Blue Canopy Marketing. I had no idea. Her husband's like, why didn't you tell me? I could have been recording it. I said, that's the point. I want people to be surprised. So, but Mandy Mahoney was our ambassador of the year. Does great things for the chamber. Our new business of the year was Eternal Glow, and Erica is now on maternity leave. She was praying she'd make it, and she did make it that night.
Wow.
The small nonprofit of the year is the Meadville Area Free Clinic. The large nonprofit is the Meadville Family YMCA. Small business of the year was Lakeside Tranquility Massage and Spa. And you have to get to where Deborah's speech was. It was just very, very inspirational and amazing. Everyone's was, but hers was exceptional. Mid-sized business of the year, One Federal Credit Union. Heather did a great job as well. Large business of the year, Home Instead, Abby Bailey did a great job. And then our emerging leaders, Virginia Dan from Accutech Precision Aerospace, and emerging leader male was Gabe Panchora and from Hagen Business Machines of Meadville. And I have since asked Gabe Panchora, he will be our featured speaker for Leadership Meadville graduation and celebration. So he is very excited about that. So our Leadership Meadville class is wrapping up, and we have one more class, and then Friday the 13th in June, will be our Leadership Meadville graduation. I've already received a few more applications for the class, but Gabe Panchora, our 2025 emerging leader, he is an alumni of Leadership Meadville and on the committee. He will be our featured speaker about being involved in your community.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now this is something that's changed a little bit, right?
It is.
Graduation used to be in May, and now it's
correct.
June.
We just added one more day and have a half a day in June for the class so that they can have a full day for Economic Development Day, because Economic Development Day in the past has only had half of a day, and then we have graduation in the afternoon. And we have found it is just not enough time to get everything in and have a few speakers and hear what's happening in our region. Well, there just isn't enough time to do that in half a day. So we extended that to a full day, and we'll hear from Jim Becker and Angela Annabelle from Economic Progress Alliance. We'll hear from Andy Walker from, the Economic Development Community Revitalization Plan in downtown from Allegheny College. We'll hear from probably Rob Smith from Cussawagga Square and the big development happening there, and some businesses that are doing great things. And so we'll hear from some great people, panelists, and so forth. But then in June, our graduation, in the morning, people will, the class will give their 5-minute summary of what they learned about Leadership Meadville and so forth. And then we'll have lunch, and we will invite all of our sponsors, all of our hosts we've had throughout the year and so forth. And there's Dan Crandall, our Citizen of the Year, our Raymond P. Schaefer Award winner. And Dan spoke a long time, and it was about so many other people.
Wow.
He said very few things about himself, which is just the epitome of what that award is about. He said, I want to thank my mentor who was in the room. He wanted to thank his wife and his daughter. They were in the room. He wanted to thank people that he knows are going to be this Raymond P. Schaefer Award winner down the road. And he named a few community business leaders that he knows are going to get that award and thank them for what they're doing now. I mean, he said very few things about himself, and he has done so much for so many organizations in our community, including the Chamber Board. And I thanked him. He's one of the people that brought me to Meadville, because there were a few business owners there and people that I knew when I was here in Titusville that reached out, said, we want you over here in Meadville, changes are happening. And so he's one of the people that brought me there, which I'm forever grateful for my time here and the friendships that I've made here, including you and Amy. But that's the best decision I ever made, and I'll be there till I retire and love it. But he's one of the people that brought me there.
Wow. And that you got, 45 years left, you said. That's how much energy you have.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So I want to go real quick, Leadership Meadville. It used to be you had June, July, August, and then you were right back. But now it's just basically July and August, and you're right back in it. So if somebody's like, my gosh, this is great, I'd like to send one of our employees or myself would like to be part of this, can they get started? Is it too late?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I already have 4 or 5 applications in, and at our Businesswomen's Roundtable group the other night, a couple ladies said we want to be in the program, so we had forms there, so they took them, so we'll probably get those by the end of the week. They are available in the office. They are available online on our social media pages. They are available on our website at any event that we have, and tonight we happen to have another one. We have our after hours. For this month, we will be at the Artist Collection in Conneaut Lake. There's quite a bit of construction happening in Conneaut Lake, so please give yourself some extra time to get there if you're planning on attending. But we will be right on the main street. Artist Collection is a space owned by David Gordon with ERA-Richmond Real Estate, and he is our Chamber Board President, and his lovely wife, Karen Gordon. So they own a beautiful space and have invested in downtown. And on the first floor of their space is Eternal Glow, and then Lavender Blue at the Lake, and a dog grooming business. So we will be going into Eternal Glow and Lavender Blue at the Lake, and they're offering specials and sales and that kind of thing. Then we're going upstairs to the Airbnb spaces, which are gorgeous. I have been in them before and had friends or family stay in them when I had a lot of family coming home for a party or a gathering or so forth. So it's a really great way to see somewhere that's relatively close to home. So if you want a weekend to get away and just, I need to get out of the house, go there and sit on the patio and look at the deck and be able to walk around, all of downtown Conneaut Lake. There's so many things happening, from restaurants to breweries to wineries to art galleries to bakeries, to a little bit of everything. But do that, and so great space there. Or at holiday time when you don't have enough room at your house, great inexpensive way to have families stay relatively close to you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And go back to just the other night.
Yes, we had our business women's roundtable group that I mentioned. We had 35-ish women out at Gatehouse Winery in Jamestown. So I love, the food was phenomenal. And they aren't even open yet. They open actually this Friday. And 50 Miles to Empty, our favorite local duo, happened to be playing. And we had 25 Miles to Empty there with us. So Julie spoke a little bit about all the live music that they have there. But we were the first people to tour the Gatehouse Estate, which is the beautiful home up on the hill behind them that they have been renovating. Has a pool, has a carriage house, great place. Going to be an event venue space as well, with tents and so forth for weddings or graduation parties or anniversary celebrations, whatever it might be. But Gatehouse, a couple of the owners spoke to us, talked about what all they're doing. And I mean, they're more than just a winery. They are a great gathering place, great restaurant. They have the Mortal's Key that is right next to them, which is the brewery, outdoor space, a lot of live music as well. And they have classes, they have murder mystery, events, not just local music, but they are big supporters of local music, and I love that. And speaking of that, we were part of the ribbon cutting, actually not a ribbon cutting, a groundbreaking with shovels yesterday. We were at the Mark for their event, and Julie was chosen as one of the speakers to represent the local music scene, because it's going to be an amphitheater at the Mark that they did the groundbreaking for yesterday. The PNC Pavilion is what it will be. PNC Bank invested in this, and several representatives were there from the bank. Julie spoke about all the local artists and local musicians that will be playing there. And then she also put on her other hat of the chamber and how thrilled we are to be collaborating with them. And we'll probably have an event there and support it and promote all that they're doing. So we have a great relationship with the folks there at the Mark. So it's been a busy few days since I got back. I had Diamond Awards, then snuck away to a leadership, inspirational, motivational conference, and then got back and full speed ahead.
Let's do this real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Christa Lundy with us here this morning from the Meadville Area Chamber of Commerce. I thought the Diamond Awards would take a lot out of you. That's a lot of planning, a lot to get ready for. And then it's like boom, boom, boom. You're surrounded by all these other great things. Business Women's Roundtable, that's every month. What's next? And for those watching, probably it's to the point where just attend, right? If you're looking to host, it's going to be a while before that.
Yeah, but you can host in 2026, but all of these have been booked for months. So, and they're new places. We are not just the Meadville Chamber, and we are highlighting places that are in our region that are making other local communities destinations. We were in Jamestown. Next month, we're going to Cambridge Springs. We'll be at Azalea Springs, which is another Airbnb great space right across from the entrance to Riverside Brewing. Lori Snyder from eXp Realty, her and her husband own this, and they wanted to showcase it for people to come in. You can stay there when they're having the big music festival across the street. Stay for the weekend. Or if you're doing a golf weekend up the street at Riverside Golf Course, stay for the weekend kind of thing. So I'm sure most of us haven't been to that one. It will be it's the third Monday this month, because the fourth Monday is Memorial Day. So we moved it up a week, but join us for that one. And again, there's a lot happening in downtown Cambridge Springs. So revitalization and things happening just like there is in Conneaut Lake and here in Titusville and Sagertown. So we want to get people to those outlying communities.
Party at the Pines is back.
It is, and they are so excited. We're excited for them. I think the first one is a Toby Keith tribute, if I'm not mistaken. And how can you not want to go to that? Toby Keith, wonderful, wonderful legend in his own right. So great country artist that is gone way too soon. But join all of those concerts. Be sure to check that out. We'll have that schedule in our newsletter. Go to Party at the Pines or Whispering Pines Golf Course. Find out all the schedule there. So that's kind of the Western Crawford County version, and Titusville Ironworks is the Eastern Crawford County version. Both places have phenomenal bands and things happening. So
and they draw people from outside of the town,
because they're both destinations, and they are helping to make their communities thrive.
What I'm sure you're getting ready for a very active tourism season where people are coming back and visiting. People are driving through and visiting, which reminds me of something you said before coming on, that this Friday's
First Friday. Yes. Oh, my daughter and I loved the last one. She has just moved home from a much bigger city. She moved home from Columbus, and she's getting acclimated with what is here. And, Mom, you talk about all these things, and loved First Friday. I think we went to 10 places downtown. But she hadn't been to most of them, or some of them she has been not on a regular basis. So we're looking forward to this next one and going different places and seeing what everyone is doing. But First Fridays are put on by the MEBA group, Experience Meadville, Meadville Independent Business Alliance, and town is open later from 5 to 8. I think it's the Time Machine, looking back into time this Friday, but check that out. And then Second Saturdays will be next Saturday. So Second Saturdays are always really fun with crafters and vendors downtown. The streets are blocked off. There's live music. There's food trucks. The Market House has a great restaurant along with some of our other restaurants and things happening. Yeah, a lot happening.
So with all of this stuff going on, something just down the road a little ways, Thunder in the City, there's a lot to be excited about again, but it just seems like the energy just keeps growing and growing. If you're a business who's not a chamber member,
why?
Why? Can they call and have that conversation with somebody at the office and kind of figure out, because to a degree, they're missing out on a lot of this stuff as participants, as marketing for this stuff gets out there.
Yes, please call us, 814-337-8030. Shoot us a message on social media, on Instagram or on Facebook, or see any of us. We're usually in town having lunch somewhere or at a meeting. Like yesterday, we saw a lot of members at the Mark. We were at Gatehouse Winery. That was our event. Or we'll be walking through town delivering flyers for, pretty soon we're going to go to every business downtown with a flyer. Hey, Thunder in the City is fast approaching. Streets will be closed. And then a month later, streets will be closed for the Wine, Brew, and Spirits Walk, which we are working on. So just talk to us about that. I don't know why people wouldn't want to be a chamber member, in all honesty. And I don't say that just because it's my job, because there's so many things that you can take advantage of that people may not know, from marketing your business, for us promoting your business, to the Foundation's magazine that goes out. Everyone that has a Meadville Tribune will be getting that in late June. We have so many events that we do because, again, yes, we are the fun chamber, but we're way more than that. Our leadership program has put 15 years of leaders back into our community that have grown professionally and personally, learned about their own leadership style, their coworkers' leadership style, their boss's style, and are interacting and volunteering and being on boards of directors and getting involved and promoting our local communities.
It's made an impact.
Agreed. And Amy Godwin, our new executive director of the K-12 program, she was at our event Monday night, and I got to introduce her to some people, and they were like, we didn't know you had a foundation. We have a foundation that connects business and community leaders to our youth, down to 3rd and 4th grade, to our high school seniors, helping them with mock interviews, graduate high school, and keeping them in Crawford County.
Wow.
So we are more than just... Hey, they have a lot of great events. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But we are here for our members and our community and surrounding communities.
HR roundtable type events, inviting community professionals in to speak to groups. It's more than, and hey,
our time management seminar. We're having a marketing for small business seminar coming up, and our women's golf outing is fast approaching. I see that on their Wednesday, June 4th. I'm actually dropping off a bunch of flyers to Mount Hope on my way home and talking with them. So
we did a project in Meadville Monday coming home. The golfers were out, so everybody's excited. Sign up. This is such a great event. Women's golf outing. You always make it fun, and it's a good time.
And you don't have to be a great golfer, ladies. If you can putt and you have a friend that's a good golfer, come join us. It's going to be a great day.
Christa, always great learning what you're up to and seeing all the great things that are happening. And again, if you've always invited somebody who is just kind of wanting to know more to attend an after-hours event, to be a guest of yours. And
join us tonight at Artist Collection in Conneaut Lake from 5 to 7. Whether you're a member or not, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Oh, what a great time to be out there. What a beautiful
night to look out at the lake. And then we'll probably stop somewhere at the lake and have dinner or a beverage afterwards. So support local. Shop local, eat local, drink local, support local.
Christa Lundy with us here this morning. It's so good to see you.
Have a great week.
Yeah, have a good one.
Our latest Reuters Ipsos poll finds that 42% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's performance as president so far this term, compared with 53% who disapprove. That's a finding that's steady with the prior week. But overall, when you dig into the numbers, we are seeing some areas of decline. One notable one is on the economy. Just 36% of respondents approve of Trump's handling of the economy, compared with 56% who disapprove. That's important because the economy was a key element in the 2024 presidential campaign. And when you get to the specific issue of cost of goods at a time of concerns about inflation, just 32% of respondents approve of his handling of the cost of goods, compared with 59% that disapprove. Trump's other major campaign issue was immigration, which has been his best polling area. He still gets more approval there than on other topics. But we are seeing here he's also what we call net negative, meaning that more people disapprove of his performance than approve of it. The poll found that 45% of Americans approve of Trump's handling of immigration, while 48% disapprove of it. We're now at the 100-day mark of his presidency. That's often a time that's regarded as a honeymoon for a president. And the polling is showing that really across the board on the issues, Americans are not really reacting all that warmly to Trump's job performance so far. That said, we should point out that at 42%, his approval is right about where it was at this point in 2017 during his first term in office, and is above where Biden's was for much of his final years in office.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
Poppy's Equipment and Storage Rental in Pleasantville is committed to providing our customers with exceptional service while offering quality rental equipment. Poppy's is now an authorized steel dealer with everything you need to have for sawing and cutting or mowing to digging. And of course, Poppy's has tents, tables, chairs, heaters, generators, barbecues, and more for your next wedding or get-together. Need firewood or propane? No problem. Whether you're in construction or a weekend warrior, reach out to Poppy's about your next project. Poppy's Place on the Tenesta Road in Pleasantville. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
For a unique shopping experience with great gift ideas, decor, and so much more, come check out what Titusville Market Square's nearly 100 vendors have to offer. Featuring unique items from local agribusiness, craftsmen, and vendors, we also offer products from 4 regional dairies, including a full line of Titusville dairy products. We carry a complete line of Amish wedding products, local honey, and maple syrup, as well as nostalgic Dog and Suds root beer and Fiestada pizzas. Don't forget to pick up fresh Clark's Donuts, delivered daily. Titusville Market Square, the new name in one-stop shopping.
Who can solve this equation? Ooh! Me. Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Fat Chad's Brewing is Titusville's premier dining destination, offering fine dining served with a cold beverage and great conversations. Try our new menu items, the T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Our pasta entries and sandwiches are just as popular. Try the new lobster ravioli, shrimp and scallop pasta, or our popular Asiago chicken. Don't forget about our famous burgers or fish sandwich, all served with fresh cut fries. Come in Saturday nights for Wild Game Saturdays. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
For over 11 years, Triple M Roofing has been providing Amish quality craftsmanship and work ethic that you can rely on. Pole barns, decks, porches, siding, and almost all roofing needs, Triple M Roofing will get the job done on time without sacrificing quality or the promise to deliver within your budget. Call today for a free estimate, 814-964-0472. Waiting is what you'll do with the other guys. Getting it done is what we do. Amish owned and operated, we're Triple M Roofing.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
U.S. stocks closed higher on Tuesday, with the Dow gaining 0.75% and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ each adding more than 0.5%. Data out from the Commerce Department's Census Bureau showed that the U.S. trade deficit in goods widened to a record high in March as businesses attempted to bring in merchandise ahead of President Trump's tariffs. A separate report from the Conference Board showed its Consumer Confidence Index dropped to its lowest reading since May of 2020. And a survey from the Labor Department showed job openings dropped sharply in March, though a decline in layoffs suggested that the labor market remained on solid footing. George Cipollone, portfolio manager at Penn Mutual Asset Management, parsed Tuesday's slew of data.
So I think what we saw today economically, from an economic standpoint, the JOLTS number was a little bit weaker than expected, and consumer confidence was a little weaker than expected. Why that is good is the reason primarily why you see the market up right now, and why you see bond yields back down. It's showing some softness in the economy, which it feels like the administration wants, because they want to get to a place where the Fed can start cutting rates.
Trump signed an order just before Tuesday's closing bell to soften the blow of his auto tariffs with a mix of credits and relief from other levies on materials. Shares of General Motors recovered some earlier losses near the end of the session, but still ended lower after the automaker reported strong quarterly results but rescinded its annual forecast. Shares of Honeywell jumped about 5.5% after reporting a rise in adjusted profit for the first quarter. and paint maker Sherwin-Williams rallied more than 4.5% after its quarterly profit beat estimates. More economic data is still on tap this week, culminating in Friday's key government payrolls report, along with earnings from several of the Magnificent Seven group of mega-cap companies such as Apple and Microsoft.
Well, joining us this morning is the president and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. It's Susan Williams. Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm fabulous today.
How about every day?
Oh, well, most every day, but today's especially a good day. We're going to be mailing out our May newsletter maybe before the end of the day. If not before the end of the day, it will get over to the post office tomorrow, but shoot to see if we can get it there today. So lots of good news to share. A lot of times we're talking about things coming up, and there's a few of those in here, but we've got a lot of great stuff to report. We had a very, very, very busy April, and so some of that is worth telling people about.
There's always good stuff. Give us a quick snapshot. We do this from time to time of how much work goes into the newsletter. I think sometimes people think, oh, you just send it out, but it's so much work to put it together every month.
There's a lot involved, and I have a great team. So as I was busy at meetings the last couple days, I certainly created some content and had some input in planning. But my team was really kind of boots on the ground, getting everything put together and in. So today that will hit the printer. The printer works overtime, so we'll have hours of printing for that to come off the newsletter. And last night I came in and spent some time collating all those inserts. So I had at least a couple of hours into that and getting the labels ready. So today it will be all hands on deck as we get those put together and carried down and put in the hods and hauled over with 17 big boxes of newsletters, 534, I think I saw today, will go out in the mail. So there's a lot of physical work that goes in, but certainly the thing that we value the most about still doing a printed newsletter is and it's available digitally too. So if you haven't seen the newsletter, pop on our website, you can find it there, is that it really inspires us to want to be talking to our members about what they're doing, what news they have to share, to be telling their stories. We're always looking for more. So some of those we have to seek out, and some submit stories and things to us.
So are you saying you have to handle hundreds of newsletters up and down 102 steps?
There's only 101 steps.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Well, the good news is we have a lot of tote bags, so we get them kind of packaged and ready to go, so that we make one trip down with each newsletter. But last month I had a young man that was in here volunteering for me, and with just like 2 trips, we got them all downstairs. And then we use the tools of the trade. So we have carts and we drive them over to the post office. So while there is a lot of physical work involved, we take advantage of any helpers and any tools we can to make it easier to get them there. So.
That's great. We've talked before, business owners can struggle with telling their story and promoting themselves. And some of it is just, well, that's not who we are. And, I don't know. And some of it is, I just don't know how to do that.
What we really love about the way we do our newsletter is that we're happy to have people submit something to us. But first of all, we're looking for stories, not advertising. We sell advertising, and we can help those members who clearly want to do advertising. But for those who are, humble, modest, whatever you call it, we're happy to talk to them about why their story and what they're doing, how they're expanding or how they're celebrating is really, really critical to others to hear that, to see that, particularly to our young entrepreneurs, our young business people. It creates a sense of pride in our region that is really, really important. So they're doing people a favor by helping us share their story. And then all we really need is the facts. We need a short paragraph, a few sentences, some bullet points. We can turn that into the story that they want to tell. With enough advance warning, they might get a chance to proofread it. Otherwise, we're going to do our best to make sure that it shines well for them. love to have a photo or at the very least a logo, something to accompany what they're giving us to share.
That's wonderful. And again, that's why you are there. That's why your staff's there to help with these things. So don't be afraid to call the chamber and ask for help. Ask to have that conversation.
Well, and we hope that anything we prepare for our newsletter is something transferable to the other things they do. Occasionally someone will pop something off of their website or their communication and send us, but it can work the other way. If they're not used to doing those things and we prepare something for them, particularly for our newer members, we love to profile them on a member-to-member article. So we have a nice little interview. We can send it to them in hard copy, but we also have a link where they can look at I think we give them about 8 to 10 questions. We take some combination of those answers and use those for a full page member-to-member kind of information page. So they can then take that and use that, whether it's for, something like the annual business review and forecast or, just something to share on their website. We can put that together and that's something that then they can use as a tool.
Let's talk about a big event that took place last week. Flex Presents. Yeah.
Yes. What a wonderful evening. We had a full house. We were out at Forever Farms in Franklin. Interesting venue that a lot of people didn't even know about. So we heard from so many people. I've never been here. So we were really excited to show not just our young professionals, but everyone that attended a new, beautiful place in our region. And we had 13 nominees, all very, very deserving of recognition. And then, of course, we always honor one person as our Young Professional of the Year. We think we have a super fair process. Each of the nominees is asked to give us their bio, a little bit of information, and record a video on their own. And then we send those off to chamber volunteers from across the country who don't know any of the nominees. We ask them to evaluate based on what the nominee has provided, and they rank them. We give them a little bit of a ranking season based on Flex. And they chose Caleb Lewis, who is a wonderful young man here who is doing a lot in the community. Many know him as an artist. He's a makeup artist, and he works in our local coffee shop here at Woods and River. And he founded the Hannah Project, which is a nonprofit in memory of his sister. So they're, he very deserving. Again, we had a great group this year, like always. And I don't know what our total over our, maybe 15 years or so of honoring them, but another celebration of why it's a great place to be a young professional.
That's wonderful. And just continuing along those lines, you've got, I can't believe this, the wrap up of leadership program coming up.
We do. We've got our last session, which is not this coming Wednesday, but the one after. And then we've got graduation the week after.
Wow.
So we're looking for people to join our next class. In the newsletter, there'll be an application, but that's available online too. So we can hardly wait to see who's going to join us for our next year. Start with a retreat in September, and I think we have that date established. So if anybody's wondering, because that is an overnight commitment, a day and a half, and then we'll have a monthly session for the next 9 months. So great year.
How long do you spend kind of going through the notes? Because I think we've talked before where all the participants get to kind of submit their thoughts, over the year. But is that's going to be interesting to go through and just kind of see what people say, what maybe their favorite topic was or experience, and kind of figure out, what next year is going to look like.
Yeah. Well, we do take a good bit of time immediately following each session to look at the surveys and reviews. And then as we're planning the next year, the really interesting thing for us is we really try to stay balanced, because in any session, we will have people, I think every session, we have at least one person and sometimes several that say, this was my favorite one. They may have already said another one was their favorite one, and they get to this one, better, even better yet. And then we almost always have someone that says, well, I might have rather heard this, or, this was harder for me. Everyone's really good at pointing out things they can take away, but those are all really important to us continuing to grow and evaluate the program. some years we have presenters that aren't available, so we have to make a change up there. We do occasionally change venues. We know a few venues that are really tried and true, and we really try to schedule around the venue and the speaker. But there are subtle changes every year. And of course, what needs to be addressed can change year to year depending on just what the world looks like, what our region looks like, and who's in the class.
I know sometimes people might think, well, if Susan goes through this every year, she knows everything, but you yourself will take away something constantly from going through this.
Yep, this is my 7th year. I just can't seem to get it right, I keep taking the class over and over. No, I love the class, and I take something away from every session. And that largely has to do with who's in the room, because I get to hear different perspectives about how they're receiving the information. And that helps me to, really think differently about, or at least consider whether I want to think differently about some of the things that we're talking about. The class projects are really interesting again this year too. And one of them that I participated in just within the last couple of weeks is the Philosophy Circle. So we have a group that was interested in gathering people to have deep conversations. I've been able to participate in 2 of those sessions. I missed 2. They're having a public session. I think it's a week from Saturday. That'll be at the Transit Building at 6 o'clock, and they'll have a speaker that night. You can find more information on our calendar. But really interesting to sit around at several tables with some people I knew and some people I didn't know and talk about, in this case, we talked about place. What is place? How does it matter? How does it influence you, and how do you influence place? So big question. We had some really meaningful conversation done very respectfully and kind of guided. So I think that's something that will continue beyond this class. So things like that are, can be new to me, and really stretch me too as a leader.
Why should a business really consider sending somebody into the leadership program? Registrations are available. You're set to go for this fall. What's the pitch?
Why should they do it? Well, I think, consistent with what we hear all the time from our businesses, we want employees, we want people working for us and with us that are problem solvers, that are good at working in teams, that have good work ethic. They show up, they do what they say they're going to do. All of those Venango ready attributes, and those are all modeled through the leadership program. We talk about them, but we also give anyone that's going through that class the chance to exhibit those traits, to grow those traits, to work with others. And then we give them tools, everything from starting off with some team building and personality testing, things that they can take right back into their business and use there or use for their personal leadership journey. So I think it's a great investment. It lets your employees know that you care about them, that you care about how they develop professionally. And again, they might bring some things back to you that are extra added value.
Absolutely. And something you said before, it doesn't just apply to the workplace, but a lot of these things also apply in your personal life. So
yeah, well, I know that for me, it's really important that my employees are involved in the community. I can't mandate that. I can't make them do that. But I know that when they're in a community that they enjoy being a part of, that they're invested in, and they're contributing their own time and sometimes dollars, that's a community they're going to want to stay in. They're going to want to add value to. So this program also introduces them to opportunities to do that, to be more involved in their community, formally or informally. And so if you have employees that you want to keep here, you really want them to stay in our region and stay with you, this is a good chance to let them know that you want to invest in them becoming more rooted into the community.
That's great. Let's do this real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Susan Williams with us here this morning, President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. You got some great events coming up, and as we head into May, you're getting closer and closer to Oil Heritage Festival.
We are hitting it. I'm telling you, it's kind of funny because we've been getting calls for the last 2 or 3 months from people, particularly that want to be craft vendors or food vendors or are interested in what we're doing. And we're like, well, that's a little ways away. We're dealing with other things. Now we're like, it's not a little ways away. Now we need to know. So give us a call if you're someone that wants to be involved in this year's festival in any way. And that includes Oil Heritage and Cranberry. Yep. We're really trying to be proactive about planning for both of those, summer and fall events, because they do take a lot of planning ahead. And particularly when we have community partners, organizations, businesses that want to be involved, they need to mark that on their calendar. They need to, perhaps plan from a budget standpoint. So we're doing everything from our outreach for sponsorships, but also, planning where and when things will happen, who's going to be there, who we need as volunteers. And before Oil Heritage Festival, we have our golf outing. So, some of that on a more mini planning happens for golf too. So we do need volunteers there. We need sponsors. We need golf teams. We've already had a couple sign up. So, and then during the golf show, well, not during, prior to the golf outing, we'll have the business trade show. So we are looking for businesses that want to come to Venango between 9 and 11 and participate. We had, I think, 17 businesses come and table last year. And they have the built-in audience of each other for really business-to-business networking. They also have the golfers as they arrive who come around and can see what kind of businesses they have. And then we do open that up to the general public and to our membership to stop by between 9 and 11, see what's going on. And then if you're someone that wants to stick around and golf or you want to volunteer with us, you can do that. But you can also just move on. You come in, network for an hour or so, and then go on to work. And we've had a great run of beautiful weather. Venango is a fabulous place to start your day. We'll make sure the coffee's hot.
What tips would you have for somebody that might be interested in the trade show? Like, I'm sure some people have asked you, what should we bring to this? Or, because you're capturing that audience right then. Do you have some advice for those who might be thinking about this?
Sure. With the luxury of a little planning, or perhaps it being something that people do frequently. At the basic, you want to have some materials and or some branding there to bring with you. So some bring a branded tablecloth or a backdrop or brochures. Often at a trade show, you have some giveaways, something people can take away that they're going to use, like a letter opener or a pen or a fan or, something that people can remember your business. And but business cards for sure. But the very, very most important thing to bring is, knowledge of your business and a smile. Get on your feet, be willing to talk to the others that have tables and, approach people, be approachable. And that's who we want to do business with. So be well prepared to have conversations with the people that are there and approach them if they don't approach you. Be ready to answer questions. Or, if someone comes to you and asks you a question about your business, your products or services you don't know, be quick to tell them how you can follow up with them.
And I'll ask you sort of the same with Oil Heritage Festival. If businesses are trying to figure out how to be involved, what to sponsor, again, that's a conversation you would love to have with that business, where you can say, here's what we do, and maybe we think your business would be best for maybe these events.
We would, and to tell you the truth, I believe that Tessa, I saw on the copier, Tessa just developed a really nice information sheet. I'll talk to her this morning about where that is and where that's going, and if we can get that online and available. But it's a great sheet that tells you how you can be involved in festival. And there are so many ways, from literally being involved in helping plan some kind of an activity or event at your business or in the community, to just simply making sure that your storefront is clean and that you are well staffed for people that are stopping in, that you have the things that people want, that you're ready to have consistent hours. Or if for some reason you have the kind of business that just is better to close during festivals, it's unusual, but there are a few, that you make sure that people know how to get you when you're back open. So that sheet has a lot of tips for how people can use festivals and events to benefit their business.
And then before wrapping up here this morning, sometimes I think some people think, oh, I have to have a business in the community to be a member of the chamber. But you could have customers, you could have other vendors you work with outside of that area.
Yes.
Why should people look to become a member of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce?
Well, if you want to be connected with other businesses and customers throughout our region, It's a great place and a very worthwhile investment. It is a low point of entry to be a member of the chamber. As I was I was sitting counting and getting our numbers for the post office for the newsletter. We mail a lot of newsletters outside of our region and a few out of state.
Wow.
So those are businesses or organizations that know they want to be connected here. They either have potential customers, or maybe other vendors. We love it when businesses do business with one another. So it's a really good way to stay connected. Also, they do have us as staff to support them. So, we would never turn anyone away from trying to provide them information if they're not a member. But what we know is when we have a member relationship, they're hearing from us on a monthly basis with emails and if nothing else, when they get the newsletter in their hand, it's a reminder to them that we're here and ready to help them. It's a reminder to them that we need good updated information. So we're really proud of the fact that we do a really good job. I think we really work hard to make sure we know who the businesses are, what their proper address, who the contacts are, and keep that information updated. So those are things that if you think are important and you value and you want a team that's ready to support you in business, we'd love to be your team.
Susan, great to see you this morning.
Great to see you. Hope I get to see you next week. And as always, people can drop by venangochamber.org and they'll find every way possible in there to get a hold of me or to get by our office sometime.
A real quick 101 steps.
101 steps, but the prize is at the end. Come see us.
Thanks, Susan. Take care.
Yeah.
Susan Williams joining us here this morning, President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce.
Our latest Reuters Ipsos poll finds that 42% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's performance as president so far this term, compared with 53% who disapprove. That's a finding that's steady with the prior week. But overall, when you dig into the numbers, we are seeing some areas of decline. One notable one is on the economy. Just 36% of respondents approve of Trump's handling of the economy, compared with 56% who disapprove. That's important because the economy was a key element in the 2024 presidential campaign. And when you get to the specific issue of cost of goods at a time of concerns about inflation, just 32% of respondents approve of his handling of the cost of goods, compared with 59% that disapprove. Trump's other major campaign issue was immigration, which has been his best polling area. He still gets more approval there than on other topics. But we are seeing here he's also what we call net negative, meaning that more people disapprove of his performance than approve of it. The poll found that 45% of Americans approve of Trump's handling of immigration, while 48% disapprove of it. We're now at the 100-day mark of his presidency. That's often a time that's regarded as a honeymoon for a president. And the polling is showing that really across the board on the issues, Americans are not really reacting all that warmly to Trump's job performance so far. That said, we should point out that at 42%, his approval is right about where it was at this point in 2017 during his first term in office, and is above where Biden's was for much of his final years in office.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Lovin'. Puppy Lovin' is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
U.S. stocks closed higher on Tuesday, with the Dow gaining 0.75% and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ each adding more than 0.5%. Data out from the Commerce Department's Census Bureau showed that the U.S. trade deficit in goods widened to a record high in March as businesses attempted to bring in merchandise ahead of President Trump's tariffs. A separate report from the Conference Board showed its Consumer Confidence Index dropped to its lowest reading since May of 2020. And a survey from the Labor Department showed job openings dropped sharply in March, though a decline in layoffs suggested that the labor market remained on solid footing. George Cipollone, portfolio manager at Penn Mutual Asset Management, parsed Tuesday's slew of data.
So I think what we saw today economically, from an economic standpoint, the JOLTS number was a little bit weaker than expected, and consumer confidence was a little weaker than expected. Why that is good is the reason primarily why you see the market up right now, and why you see bond yields back down. It's showing some softness in the economy, which it feels like the administration wants, because they want to get to a place where the Fed can start cutting rates.
Trump signed an order just before Tuesday's closing bell to soften the blow of his auto tariffs with a mix of credits and relief from other levies on materials. Shares of General Motors recovered some earlier losses near the end of the session, but still ended lower after the automaker reported strong quarterly results but rescinded its annual forecast. Shares of Honeywell jumped about 5.5% after reporting a rise in adjusted profit for the first quarter. And paint maker Sherwin-Williams rallied more than 4.5% after its quarterly profit beat estimates. More economic data is still on tap this week, culminating in Friday's key government payrolls report, along with earnings from several of the Magnificent Seven group of mega-cap companies such as Apple and Microsoft.
Well, a real quick look at your forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Partly cloudy skies today, mid-60s for a high. Partly cloudy tonight with a low in the upper 40s. Thursday, which happens to be the first day of May, some afternoon thunderstorms expected, a low to mid-70s. Friday, showers, upper 60s. Saturday, rain, upper 50s. Sunday, some afternoon rain showers with a high of 60. Meadville this morning at 42 degrees. Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 41. Titusville 41, Franklin this morning 43, Oil City 43 degrees here at 8:39. This is the Morning Drill. Well, joining us this morning from ERA-Richmond Real Estate, we have Heather Schmader. Hi, Heather. How are you?
Hi, Luke. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you this morning.
Yeah, you too.
I love these conversations. I love real estate. I love just everything about what you do. It's got to be exciting. But before we get into all that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I was born and raised in Titusville. I've stayed here my whole life. I graduated from the class of 2003, Titusville High School. My husband, Brad, is also from Titusville. We have 3 kids and 4 dogs, and I am also a photographer.
Yes.
I have a photography business, and I became a real estate agent. Well, it'll be 4 years this month. My mom, Penny Lindstedt, is also a real estate agent. She's been an agent for about 19 years, and she kind of got me into the business around that crazy COVID market. And she said, I need some help, so would you consider doing it? And I'm so glad that I did, because I love it.
So did she really twist your arm, or did you kind of have an interest in it?
Well, I've always seen her do it kind of part-time and thought, well, it looks kind of fun. I love looking at houses, so
Yes.
That's kind of exciting. But she was just so busy because that market back then was astounding. I mean, you couldn't keep up. So she said, I really need help, because she worked full-time still. So she said, you need to do it. And I finally did. And I'm sad that I didn't do it sooner, actually.
So I kind of just curiosity here, the photography side. Obviously, you have to have a good eye. And if anybody's seen your
Yeah.
photos, you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
I would imagine that also applies on the real estate side as well, having that keen eye, being able to kind of see what what could be the possibilities, and
Yep.
helping maybe a seller with trying to figure out what they need to do to get a house ready, or when somebody comes in to be able to say, yeah, imagine this.
Yeah, absolutely. A big thing to me is the first presentation of a listing. So I obviously am a photographer myself, and I always did my own listing pictures, with my professional camera, no cell phone here, doing my pictures. I think it's important because it really truly showcases your home in a beautiful light. So I've actually found another real estate photographer that I work with. His name is Gary Scott. He does wonderful drone work for me. I don't do drones, so it's kind of how we hooked up. But he does a wonderful overview of the whole house, beautiful angles, but it's so nice because we work really well together. I can be like, Gary, I want to showcase this room and I want this angle, and he knows what I'm talking about. So, but it's very important. That's the biggest thing. When your listing goes on the market, you want it to be bright and beautiful, and the pictures just stand out.
So we're coming into, I can't believe, the summer months, finally getting some spring weather here. What does that mean for your business, and what sort of the trends this year and what you're seeing, and maybe what that means over the next several months?
Sure. So I think, obviously, Titusville, we had a hard winter. Like, we haven't had a winter like this for a while. So I definitely saw a little bit of a slowdown with showings because there was a couple of days it was so iced over you couldn't see the roof, you couldn't see anything. So we didn't go see a lot of houses. But now that we're thawed out, we're starting to see houses come on the market more. People are starting to call and say, hey, I want to list in the next 30 days, but I want to make sure I get my landscaping done. I'm seeing a lot of people that are like, let's wait till there's leaves on the trees. Everything just looks better when it's green.
Yes.
So I always say, listing pictures with snow in them, we never want to have that. So that's definitely starting to happen now. We're starting to see that spring bloom of listings and people actually starting to look now. Because a lot of the things that happen are, if people want to make a move, if they have small children, they want to do it before school starts. So we take that into account. You're looking anywhere between 45 to 60 days to close a house. So we're getting into that time crunch where people are going to start looking and making a move if they want to be in by the end of August.
I would imagine, and maybe you've had some of these conversations, like over winter would have been a good time, like if you had to do things inside the house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Any of that touching up paint, because we all know, there's always paint to be touched up in a house somewhere. Maybe getting rid of clutter. That's a huge thing. And just kind of getting an overview of what are some of those projects maybe you didn't finish or you'd like to maybe finish before you list it.
And just so if somebody's watching this for the first time, what are some of those tips? I have a feeling that some people think they need to spend years trying to fix something up before it's presentable, when maybe they should have that initial contact with you where you can come in and say, here's really what you need to do, this, and maybe all it takes is a coat of paint and not tearing down a wall or, whatever. Because a lot of times you're going to sell that property to somebody who's going to come in and turn it into what they want anyways.
That's very true. That's a huge thing that I tell people. They always ask me, well, should I replace the carpet? And I say, you could, but I probably wouldn't, because, someone else would come in and they don't like your carpet color and they could take it out and put laminate flooring in. So a lot of times it's nice to contact a real estate professional and have us come through your house and give you recommendations on what you should do, to make things look nice, or, maybe this would pass and this would be okay, and let the buyer decide, because there's lots of options out there. Flooring seems to be a big one. Everybody's like, oh, I love carpet, I hate carpet. There are ways to go around that in transactions. Maybe there is older carpeting in there, but you know what? That needs replaced, so you give a credit towards it. So
is that challenging for you? I'm sure you've been in situations where somebody's really proud of something in their home, and because it's very personal.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I don't think so. I think somebody's going to come in and maybe take that out or change it.
Yeah, paint color seems to be the biggest one. Yeah, because people, they have their personal preference, and sometimes it's just these bold, colors. And I tend to, obviously, photographs, when I look at photography, the bright, neutral grays, tans, browns, photographs really nice. It's natural light, it looks nice, and you get these orange walls or, blood red walls, and you're kind of like, oh, well, it'll be fine.
How much of what is shown in TV shows, like the home improvement type shows, do people bring into the conversation, or the ideas that they have, or does that not really play?
I actually don't get. I don't experience that a lot. Actually, I do. The most common thing I see is when we go into houses and it's an older house and it does need some updating. There's a lot of times the wife is like, hey, we could tear this wall down, or we could do this wall, knocking on walls. Is this a supporting wall? Kind of things like that. Could we open this up to make it bigger? But other than that, people pretty much accept the houses how they are around here.
Sort of the same premise in these shows, though. Somebody says, and I know all this is planned ahead of time, but we're going to show you 3 homes. Is that when somebody's coming to you, are they bringing information to you like, here's really what our budget is? Because I would assume that's probably pretty helpful in showing what homes. But I guess what I'm getting at is there's probably homes that you pull up to where they're like, I'm not really sure. And you're like, trust me, wait till we go inside. And, again, those nice surprises.
Yeah, I obviously when I meet with a buyer, talk to a buyer for the first time, getting a pre-approval is the first thing, because who wants to go look at a house that they absolutely fall in love with and then they can't afford it? So that's the biggest thing, determining what they can afford and what their monthly payment would be and if they're comfortable with that. So once we determine that, then we say, okay, here are the properties in your price range, and which ones would you like to see? And I like to tell people it's good to look at different houses to compare them in terms of price points, and see what you can get for the different levels. And, I've had people that were like, I absolutely don't want to see that house, and they end up loving it. Yeah. So it's kind of neat when that happens.
Anything trend-wise that people are looking for in purchasing homes? What are the big things that people want?
Well, land.
Okay.
I think most commonly the want that I get out of a buyer, if I ask, well, what would be your ideal property? Well, I would like a ranch on maybe 3 to 5 acres. So that seems to be pretty common want, but not a common thing that we find. So anything with land, if it's even 1 acre up to 5 is usually pretty desirable.
So again, that's one of those things where, as a professional, you're having these conversations, trying to get the most information out of those buyers so you can kind of identify the properties that might make sense for them. That has to be fun and challenging.
Yeah.
Is that part of that excitement, though?
I really employ my buyer to make sure that they're a part of the act of searching, because I might see houses that I think they love and they absolutely do not. So I always tell them, you need to be downloading either Zillow or Realtor.com or something like that and start a search, and obviously like through our MLS, we can start a search also. If anything new comes on the market, it will notify them and send them an email. So any buyers that I work with, if anything new comes on that's in their parameters, of beds, bath, acreage, it'll get sent to them anyways. But I like people to be actively searching because, they have to be excited about it too. So I don't want to feel like I'm hounding them with houses.
Let's talk about the professional services like we've been talking about here. But you see homes that pop up, for sale by owner. Sometimes I think people don't realize like what they're getting by listing. The professionalism, you talked about, the photography side, but the help that homeowner's getting by working with them and actively promoting their property. There's a lot to it. It's not just, okay, yep, put the sign up and we'll see you when somebody's interested. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
There really is, because, I understand for sale by owners, and I actually work with for sale by owners a lot. I will bring them a buyer and I'll end up helping both sides, because a lot of times for sale by owners, they think they want to sell it themselves, but then when it gets down to the negotiation and the nitty gritty of it, they're not really loving it, when somebody's coming in and saying, well, I don't like this and this is why I'm offering you it, it can sometimes be uncomfortable. But other than that, I feel like if you want to get top dollar for your house, which everybody does, putting it out with an agent in the multi-list system, it goes everywhere. It goes all over the world, So anyone looking, that's looking to relocate back to Titusville would see that house. Not necessarily if you were just driving, looking at a sign. Now you can list for sale by owners on Zillow, but they tend to hide them a little bit. They're not as easy to find, let's say.
Yeah, and again, there's just so much. I just think of all the paperwork.
It is a lot.
There's a lot. Just let somebody professionally handle that, and then kind of gives you a sense of relief, and you don't have to worry about it. Just focus on what you're doing, and
absolutely,
and just professionals handle
it.
Let's do this real quick. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Heather Schmader with us here this morning from ERA-Richmond Real Estate. Let's take a look at one of your properties. Here's a great property in town.
Yep, absolutely. So this is 517 Jones Street. This was recently a refreshed property. This was not gutted per se, but everything was kind of refreshed in the house. It's got a nice quiet street. It has a large layout. When you walk in the front door, what we're looking at in this picture is the living room, dining room area. So it's really open, beautiful natural light, as you know, I love. And then you kind of look into the kitchen, which is another open concept kitchen. It does have a half bath downstairs. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, you could fit a lot of furniture in there.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, doesn't that look great? So it does have a little pantry also. And yeah, so that's kind of the view looking from the kitchen bathroom area. So it would be a perfect starter home for someone. You know, it does have 3 beds, 2 baths, which is very nice. That's a laundry area. It does have a first floor laundry. So you're not having to go to the basement to do your laundry. And then we've got 3 bedrooms upstairs and a full bath.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So, you know, definitely wanting to get this one sold. So if, you know, you'd want a private showing, please don't hesitate to call my office.
As somebody's walking through a property, do you kind of just let it breathe? Do you let them kind of take everything in, or do you find a lot of people are asking you questions throughout the tour of a property?
Well, I obviously let everybody walk through, but I tend to always give my buyers the seller's disclosure and the data sheet to review before we see a property. That way, like if there's something on the seller's disclosure that they have a question about, we can address it while we're there. You know, like if there's something on there, oh, well, I saw this on the disclosure and I want to check on it, then we'll be like, okay, yeah. Versus giving it to them afterwards and then reading it and say, oh, well, I really wanted to look at that. So we kind of walk through the house, go over the disclosure, and then go back to any, you know, issues or something they had a question about.
And I don't know if it's the case with other properties, but I noticed this one kind of has blueprints, so to speak.
Yeah, so I was talking about Gary Scott. He's the videographer, photographer that I work with. That is something that he includes in his services that I think is really nice because it gives you the layout of the whole property because and also I don't like wielding a tape measure. So so he actually does it for me. And it's really nice because you can put it out there and, you know, somebody from out of town that maybe can't necessarily, if we're doing a video tour or something, it gives them the actual measurements. So
what's your favorite part of what you do?
Well, I think it is bringing buyers and sellers together. And I also like the challenge of maybe not so easily sold properties. I think when I can sell those, that's like a huge feat for me.
Because there's somebody out there that would want that property. It's just finding them.
Yep, exactly. And that's, I always tell my sellers, it just takes one buyer. And that's truly what it is. Because they're, you know, as real estate agents, we sometimes list houses and say, well, this one might be more challenging to sell, whether it be location or price point or just a general overview of it. But it's so nice when, you know, you put it on the market and that's the one that gets an offer within 10 minutes. So I love that.
What tips do you have for sellers? What tips do you have for buyers?
Let's see. Sellers, I would say make sure that you're always open to offers and keep an open mind. Just because somebody comes in and maybe gives you a lowball offer, it's not a direct reflection of your house. It's, you know, the buyer's got to try a little bit. And that's on the flip side to my buyer. I always tell them to just be confident and be okay with knowing that maybe you're going to get a flat out no sometimes, and it's okay. So...
But it's a place to start.
It is. And you have to feel comfortable with where you're at, you know what I mean? Because I say everyone's circumstances changes every day. You know, this house may have been on the market for 150 days and you submit this offer and today is the day that they are, you know, they're willing to negotiate and, you know, they don't want to pay the utilities anymore. They don't want to pay the taxes. So you just never know.
Is it... It's got to be tough when somebody's been in a home for a while. They've maybe raised kids. Because in fact, just last week, I heard somebody say, "Yeah, we're going to be downsizing and getting ready to put the house up." But they were holding back like the tears. Like they lived there.
Yeah, I actually deal with a lot of estates, which is difficult. If that was your family home for 50 years, that's that's all, that's left of your parents. That's hard. And I definitely am compassionate to those situations. And it can sometimes be a little difficult because it's so emotionally attaching. But I really try and help those that are going through it and hopefully, get it sold for, what they want and have a little closure there. So.
All right. So if somebody's looking to sell their property, what's the first step with you?
So first step with me would be to reach out and I'll come out and view the property, kind of go over what's sold in the area over the last, 12 months and see where we're at, see what any active listings are that are comparables and, go through the house and say, okay, I would love if you could maybe paint this, spruce things up a little bit. That would just increase your curb appeal. And then pretty much that's the first step. And then we go from there and then we start the paperwork. And obviously with me, pictures, we schedule him to come out and do pictures. So.
And again, I know it depends on what the homeowner needs to do to get their house ready, but it could be listed as early as what? And
oh, I mean, I could get a listing on in probably 2 to 3 days if they were ready. Yeah. A lot of the time it's just filling. The biggest document you have to fill out is the seller's disclosure. That's a large document it tells you all the information about the house, anything that you've personally done to it in your ownership or anything you know about it. That's the longest one to fill out. Other than that, it's a lot of signatures, reading, and initials.
Wow.
So.
And then if you're looking to buy, establishing a relationship, should they come in and introduce themselves to you?
Yeah, so you could inquire about a property and, I'd have you come in and chat. And then obviously, like I said before, getting a pre-approval is the first step because you want to make sure that you know where you're at financially. So, and then we can go look at houses once you get that.
Oh, boy. That sounds like that would be so much fun.
It is fun.
Because you drive past properties and you go, I wonder what that looks like inside.
Absolutely.
You get to live that dream.
Yeah, it's super fun. You never know what you're going to find when you open the door.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, Heather, if folks have questions, they want to reach you, schedule an appointment, how do they do that?
You can call our office. We are located at 125 West Walnut Street in Titusville, or you can stop in. And usually you can find one of us there.
It's so great catching up with you. Very exciting, and all the best to you.
Yeah,
and,
thank you for having me. This is great.
We'll have you back.
Okay, perfect.
Love talking about this. This is great. Thank you, Heather.
All right, thank
Take care.
you.